Justin, it's been a very topsy-turvy season. I think you'd agree. But you finished 13th. How do you assess the season as it's gone?
If I think about, like you said, the topsy-turvy season we've had, and the ins and outs, and the bad luck we've had this season, I've got to really think we've had a good season considering all that. You know, it could have easily gone the other way and could have been fighting a relegation fight in terms of all the problems that we had. But just credit to the boys and credit to the players that I keep churning out, keep bringing to the club, that we managed to get results. And I just looked at the table just a minute ago. We're 20 points off the playoff. You know, I know 20 points is a lot, but it's like 6 or 7 wins. And there's games where we thought we should have done that, or maybe we would have drew with games and we could have been up there. But yeah, it's been a frustrating season. I mean, finances, players losing players, injuries, suspensions, key players missing. Billy Owen missed 6 months of the season. That's a massive player to replace, you know, especially if he plays for free as well. So to replace him, you're talking big money. So if I sit back and think about it, I think the season's been decent. That's what I could say. Me personally, it's frustrating that we're not in the playoffs or challenge for the title, because it seems like a year wasted in terms of last season. But if you take it from last season, I think we've got Pat Elby, Billy Holland, and Pat Elby had come halfway through the season, and Jay Leader from last season. It's a totally whole different squad. No one's going to have a chance like that. Whittam are up there this season because they've kept all their squad together, and I'm a big believer of that. If you keep your team together, you're going to have half a chance, and that's what my aim will be, which it is every season, to build a team and keep it from the beginning of the season to the end.
I mean, you had a very good start to the season, but after that it was very inconsistent. Do you feel that inconsistency probably sums up the season? What's the word for the season?
Inconsistency, because, like I said, we had a good start to the season. We had a decent pre-season as well, but then we lost players, and then I'm replacing them with players that are going to need time to bed in, but they haven't got time because I want results now. I don't want results tomorrow. So that was always going to be hard, and yeah, it just comes down to consistency and consistent players, and not bringing in players during the season. I don't like to do that unless we're forced to, and when I mean forced to, because of an injury or suspension, not because we're losing players. We have to keep replacing them, and it takes time to bed them in.
I mean, how many of you mentioned there's been a lot of players this season, how many of the changes have been your decision or been forced upon you?
I would say 50-50. You know, some have left because they've been offered better financial terms, some have left to better themselves. Teddy's gone and won the league today, so congratulations to him. Some have gone higher level, some have left because they were playing, some have left to, like I said, to earn more money. I've got rid of a few, especially after the Harlow game when we lost away from home. I just felt there was 3 or 4 there that just wasn't churning out the performances that I want or could expect from them. So yeah, probably I'd say 50-50.
Is there anything, when you think back at the season as a whole, is there anything you would have changed?
One thing I blame myself for, and possibly cost us 20 points, at why we're not in the playoffs, is I didn't get my management team sorted at the beginning of the season. I was relying on Victor to come back, and I waited probably too long for that, and I think I've had 4 or 5 coaches this year. That's not known to anyone, so I take responsibility for that, and that's something that I will be working on in the summer, which I'll be getting my coaching team and be sticking with that coaching team. It was my hand were forced one, it wasn't working because the players weren't responding to him. Another one, me and him had a clash. The third one left to go and be a manager of Brentwood, you know, so that there was always a reason behind it, you know what I mean? So if you could pick the highest moment of your season, which would it be? Beating Thurrock, first time to beat Thurrock in Aveley's history. That was a good game. But I feel a turning point of our season. I know we haven't won anything, but where like I said, we could have gone the other way and been in the relegation fight was beating Roxton away from home. I mentioned that before. That was, to me, we was under real pressure and we was down alongside the table, and I felt that changed our season. We went on a little run there, and if we didn't get caught in that winter period with no games being played, we could have possibly done better, but that's the same for every other team. So that game sticks out in my head, that Roxton game.
What was the lowest point of your season?
Losing to Waltham Forest at home, Barkingside away, but probably losing to Waltham Forest at home. Yeah, that was quite a low point.
You mentioned after the league defeat at Thurrock that it was possibly the lowest point of your managerial career. You've come out the other side of that now. Do you feel that you're a better manager because of those experiences?
Yeah, I've learned one thing. I've learned more this season than I did last season. We had a tremendous season. Like I said, the coach and getting my management team right, I feel that played a big part of why we are where we are. So, and also probably probably giving players a bit more of a chance instead of maybe getting rid of them sooner. But then on the other end, I've given them a chance and we're losing games. So that one, maybe being a bit more patient and we're working on improving those players instead of trying to replace them with better quality. So yeah, have I learned this season? Do I feel I'm a better manager? Yep, definitely. I think all those lows from this season I'll carry with me to next season. I hope that they're not as many, because they're not good days, you know. Yeah. But like I said, it's football. I've never felt like quitting or felt like it's not for me, because that doesn't enter my mind. All I want to do is get to the next game. And like I said, this season we've had the worst luck in the world. I know you have to earn your own luck, but we've had some bad luck. Bad decisions go against us. And like I said, if we can have some good luck next season, as well as adding to keeping the best players that we've got, we'll have a good season.
I mentioned to you last week that you had 30 different goal scorers, but with that in mind, do you feel that, as crazy as that is, you maybe haven't scored enough goals at vital times this season?
Yeah, the difference with this season and last season, I felt when we went ahead last season, we pretty much won the game. We were always going to go and score a couple, but in this season, I think we had a record amount of 2-1 wins, if I'm not right, because it seems like most games we won were 2-1. I know we had a few decent results in between now. So yeah, I agree with you that we're probably not going to finish off teams and rely too much defensively. But then again, I think defensively we've been better this season. I don't know if the goals against proves that, but I just think we have, because we gave away some solid goals last year. But I feel we always had a threat going forward. Yeah, so again, it was like until Carl came in and possibly Lee, we didn't have a goal scorer. So, and they came halfway through the season, so that was probably why we weren't higher up the league table than what we was.
So you feel that's all that was missing? I mean, last season you had Jordan Cox who scored 30 goals for you. You may have had more individual goal scorers, but only 3, I think, players have got double figures this season. So you think that's just what's been missing?
Yeah, Jay's leaders, I think he's hit double figures this season. If I'm 9 or 10.
8.
I was on 8. Okay, he's added more to his game, added more goals to his game, and I think he should really be hitting the double figures. And yeah, like I said, for some players like Lee, Carl, Paul, they probably don't want the season to finish because they're hitting some good form coming into the season. But that's football, you know. Like I said, I want to make sure that I have a squad that sticks together. That'll be my ultimate goal next season. So I have the same squad from the beginning to the end. It'll be hard because if we're doing well, they're not going to attract teams. But that'll be my aim. Maybe look for players that are not necessarily looking to go on another level and maybe at the wrong end of their career, but want to win something. What do they do?
Okay. Out of all the players that you've had this season, who's your player of the season?
Well, my manager's player of the season is Eddie the Ryman. I think he's been our most consistent performer in the last 20-25 games. I can't remember the last time he's had a bad game. Obviously, J League is going to get all the plaudits as he rightly does and deserves so. I know he's won Fans Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year, and he's a 9 or 10 every week, so you expect that. But I think Addy, when he first came, he looked a bit rusty and a bit suspect. I think he's been really solid for us both ways, going forward and defensively.
You're just looking forward now to just recharging the batteries and coming back for next season? Yeah,
like I said, I'm looking forward to having a little break now, going away with the family, recharging the batteries, and looking to build a squad next season that is capable of challenging for the league title one playoffs.
Well done for everything you've done this season and next year.
I'd just like to thank you on your position moving to Chelsea. I mean, you've done a great job, and wish you all the best. You'll always be welcomed here, and hopefully we see you when Chelsea are not playing. If it don't work out, you're more than welcome to come back.
Thanks. Cheers.